Yes, you. Thank you very much. We are all here to learn one or two things from our career experts, okay, to guide us through our career path. Okay, thank you very much. So, without wasting much time, we will welcome our lead for the opening remarks.
Well, we haven't had breakfast this morning, so. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see young faces eager. I think the gender balance swings towards the women. That is good. This must be important I'm sure some of you have skipped class. Some of you have postponed things to be here. You couldn't have chosen a better time. And as I look at this program that grew from 50 scholars to now 820, 530 scholars, it says a lot. And as we grow, then specialization also begins to creep in. And one of the wings is IMI, Industrial Mentorship Initiative, that's headed by yours sincerely. And you are starting with freshmen, fresh ideas, big ideas. I'm sure it's met you one-on-one, and you have chosen careers that you aspire to be in. I think that's all very good. The program itself hopes that you all will become entrepreneurs. I disagree. And I make my views. There are people who are not just cut out to be entrepreneurs, like me. I have no talent. I can't play football. I can't do anything skillful. The only thing I can do is talk. If you give me the time, I'll talk the whole day. And I have said that I tell the people I work with know this, and I tell this story a lot. When I was studying in that cold damp place called Britain, we went to shopping over the weekend, so pulling my shopping cart, live close to where the university was. I had 3 young children. My wife was also doing a PhD. So we go to the shop, and the shop normally in front, they have this notice board. The notice board says, if you have something to sell, just put it there. So then I noticed that one particular guy went there and somebody had written dogs for sale. 2 weeks later, that same notice, same address has gone dogs for free. Because he's a breeder, he will tell you how much dogs eat. They are very expensive things. Then 2 weeks after, so within a period of 6 weeks, it's gone from dog for sale to dogs for free, then to dogs for free plus food gift. Why am I saying that? If you give me the chance, now I'm retired, I'm on contract, I probably from contract I can go to part-time. When I become completely irrelevant, I'll tell the university, I'll teach for free. Just give me audience for me to animate. You have chosen a career that seems to be the most fanciful and the most glamorous, Even when you are a struggling journalist, you are a superstar. And these days, the medium has exploded. So if you write any nonsense from your bedroom, it becomes journalistic material. You can't control the media. But amidst all the cacophony of the nonsense, there are people who emerge from where you are coming from as ethical and transformative leaders. Don't make a quick beeline for money. Let your quality sell you. And today you are in good company. You are in a company of Mr. Asarodonko that I know way back, he hasn't changed much. He was teasing me that I haven't changed either. And I said, my bones don't tell me that I haven't changed. My bones are saying that I have old. And we had a nice chat. And as usual, he couldn't even put in a word. I did all the performances that he could listen to me. And then Nana Benin. So Erastus is a well-known journalist for the Joy FM network. I know he started from here. And you know sometimes the mistake you make. You meet this public face person. I remember many years back, I had such an embarrassment in my life. I had met somebody in Accra. I'd gone to the British Embassy and I just stepped down. And I saw this lady. Oh, I know you somewhere. It occurred to me twice. I know you somewhere. And the lady was polite. Really, no, I don't seem to know you. Oh yeah, your face is so familiar. He said, perhaps on TV. You know what I mean? And I met a similar person back on campus, and the same thing happened. So when you have a public person, you've heard the name, and you probably don't know, today, Mr. Erastus Asarodonko, who's known on the Joy FM network, he's been everywhere. We are happy to have him. Ask him questions. Why has he stayed in a place like Joy, where he could have launched on his own, where he could have probably tripled his money? Ask him. Nana Benyi Anumel, he is a journalist, but he's into marketing. You know, they will tell you, if they only depend on the journalistic side of writing, who says you want nice stories? You want the nice stories that will fetch the money, that will pay you, the journalist. You know, so Nana Benyi Anumel is into marketing and journalism, and our very own Isaac Mafo, who would talk to you about communication and branding. He captures certain things about you and it makes waves elsewhere. So I'm happy that we are trudging along beautifully, and I'm happy that you have chosen that opening to become communicators of influence. You have chosen that path that would make a difference in our country. Have a nice day and good morning.
Thank you very much, Prof. I'll continue now by introducing the moderator for the program. So, this is a bit of his profile. He is a junior assistant registrar and the head of publication and documentation units of the University Relations Office, KNUST-TEK. He is a multi-talented and zealous person who brings significant impact to any environment he is put to function. He has specialty in marketing, corporate communication, social media marketing and management, graphic brand identity design and management, web content design and management, content writing for web and social media, blogging, copywriting, editing, and has advanced knowledge in communication, including print, radio, and TV production. Mr. Mafo has over 12 years work experience in the communication industry, especially in websites and social media content development and management. He has since 2012 been managing the website and social media accounts for the university and has served as a brand manager for several companies and individuals, including Databank, Mr. Brights, Evans, Darkon, General Manager, Ghana Export and Import Bank. He has qualification in marketing and communication design and has membership with the Ghana Journalists Association, Ghana Association of University Administrators, and Private Advertisers Association, Kumasi. So I will welcome Mr. Isaac Mafo.
All right, thank you very much. My job is simple. Once I've been introduced, I also have the honor to introduce my co-panelist. Like Uncle said, there is Mr. Erastus Asarodonko and Nana Benyi Anumel. But to start with, let me go with the profile of Mr. Erastus Asare Donko. Says Mr. Asare Donko started his journey in journalism in 2001 as a freelance journalist, which all of us can be. We all can be freelance journalists, writing for websites like highghana.com and some radio stations in Techiman. He worked as a reporter with Capital Radio and rose through the ranks to become the news editor, producer, and morning show host with the station for 7 years. He then moved to join the multimedia group as a broadcast journalist in 2012. Currently, he works as an assistant news editor, producer, and co-host for the local super morning show on Love FM and Inshira brands. He also serves as an investigative journalist and produces documentaries and features for Joy News and Joy FM brands. Mr. Asare Donko has a diploma from the Institute of Commercial Management UK, a BA in communication, and has also benefited from numerous training programs by the Deutsche Welle Journalism Academy, the BBC, and Journalism for Human Rights, to mention a few. Mr. Asare Donko is married with 2 kids. With a round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Asare Donko to take our seat. So you are welcome.
Thank you.
The second person, Nana Benyin Anomel. Nana Benyin Anomel is the head of events and marketing at EIB Kumasi Cluster. His radio experience spans over 20 years in journalism, radio marketing, sales, and events. He has been in corporate practice with FMCGs and service markets as well. He is also married with 4 kids, and he is always blessed with a smile every day. Shall we welcome Nana Benyin? Like Uncle said he's a talkative. I'm equally one. And so we are going to have a silent time. And it wouldn't be nice if you sit and you don't ask questions. So I'm going to ask a few questions. Let's make it as interactive as possible. Okay. To start the whole session, I will start with this. The communicator was asked to communicate the hardship that various governments in Ghana has taken Ghanaians through from Kufuor's time, from Jerry John Robinson's time, the late, to Kufuor, to Atta Mills, to Mahama. And the communicator sat down. How do I even communicate this to my people? So he started. He said he met all the 4 presidents, sent them into a forest, and asked them to go and bring a fruit. So Jerry John Robbins entered. He came with grapes. And they asked him, he said, can you swallow the grapes for me? That's the problems you've created for Ghanaians. So he swallowed it. He was there wondering as to why he was asked to swallow the grapes. Then he saw Kufuor coming with oranges. And the rules are simple. You have to swallow the troubles you're giving Ghanaians. So Kufuor was struggling to swallow the oranges. He then saw Atta Mills coming with watermelon. The rest is history. So you are welcome to this session. Let's make it interactive as possible. Mr. Erastus, the journey has been very, very far. A general experience how the journey has been for you. It's been a long one. It started with a passion right from my childhood. I wanted to be a
so even when my father wanted me to be a doctor, I wanted to be a journalist. I remember sitting in an arts class, and my father asked me to go into a science class. I said, no, I want to be in an arts class. And I ended up being in a science class because he wanted me to be a doctor. In the end, here am I, a journalist. So I wanted to be a journalist. I started writing for websites and reporting for local radio stations all across as a freelance. And if I chance upon a story, I do it well, I package it well, and I'll sell to the website or any radio station who is doing it. And if it's a good story, it makes me good parts. So I did that for some time until I came to Capital Radio and started there as a reporter. Went ahead to become a senior reporter, a news editor, and a producer for the morning show at the time. I hosted it many times for, I think, about 3 years ago. At the point I was doing a bit of marketing as well. So in 2012, I decided to move from Capital Radio, went to Lab FM, part of the multimedia group. And there I started as a broadcast journalist, doing general reporting and doing documentaries and features for the stations. Then gradually, today, I'm an assistant news editor. That's a rank 4. Then from an assistant news editor, you go to an editor. And then you go into managing news editor. That's a very top position. And so this is where I am today. I've done a lot of work, from investigative journalism to general reporting on issues and doing documentaries and features on a wide range of issues. So this is where I am.
Thank you. The journey indeed has been long. I was tempted to call Mr., but I realized Nana is bigger than Mr. So I prefer using Nana. How has the journey been so far?
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. It's been a long one. Mine also started off not really as a passion, as somebody having identified my ability to do something on radio. When I was done with the Ghana School of Marketing, I was sent to Radio Board to work with the marketing department. So basically what we had to do, then radio didn't do all of these events. So basically what we did was we had clients who came in and wanted to do business with us. We will sell other areas that they can, buy to them. Then the radio didn't go out to do all of this. So I was really good for a while, actually 2 years. And then I left radio, joined Hammock Limited as a brand representative. So we brought some people to our sales as well. And there was a product called Tampico that Hammock introduced. So my job was to do everything that would promote the Tampico brand in Kumasi and up north. We were 10 people who were employed for that purpose. They gave us Tampico branded vehicles and all of that. I did that job for 8 years, and then all the while, my radio story began with Radio Gold, even though I was doing marketing. The programs manager then was called Okuwa Fortuna. He walked up to me and said, "You have such a nice voice, you speak very well. You don't need any training or a certificate to sit on radio at all. We can coach you and get you to say the things started doing voiceovers. As I was doing my marketing job in the office, if anything came, we had to record it, call me and answer the call. Then he started introducing me to the basics of reporting, journalistic reporting. You go for an event, the key questions you have to ask, what you have to record, bring it back, do your editing, and then sometimes I read the news, other times the news staff will read the news. All this while I was doing my marketing job. So when I left Radio Gold and joined Farmer, I still had the passion. I just thought, right, Kumasi, morning to evening, you are doing Farmer, selling ice cream as it were. So why don't you start radio as well on the part-time? Then I tried getting to London. It was difficult. London had all the aspects talking about, and there was nowhere to put it. So I came up with an idea. Then on Radio Gold, I was producing a show with Bibi Nelson and the Virus. It was a show we did at night. We started from 12 and did a lot of talking and critiquing things that went wrong in society, government things, anything we can talk about. So I decided to bring that show to myself. And I started it on London called the Night Train. The show went along with a following. We created a group called the Nocturnal Fraternity. So a lot of the time, students on campus who are learning at night will listen, send their contributions, I'll read them, and then we'll go do clean-up exercises, go to KDs here at home, because I talked about it. I said, we can't live in a community and have all this filter around. So you got them to come along, and with it all, fast doing my final job. At a point, I realized I had done too much of the family thing. I wanted to venture into another thing because an idea came to mind. If I am doing marketing for corporate world, selling fast-moving consumer goods, how can't we do similar for the radio market? So I came up with the idea to talk to marketing and management at Mastercard that let's have an events team where we'll create events for people to attend, we'll advertise the events on air, and then monetize from the tickets that people will buy. My bosses didn't see that this would help. I had to push and make a case. My first case enable was to bring Uncle White to Kumasi. For a very long time, Uncle White was doing these productions in Atlanta, so that Kumasi won't give me value because he had tried. I went to him and I talked to him that, Uncle, I think if we do this, so I kept talking to him until eventually I agreed that, okay, let's give it a try. And for the first time in the history of drama productions in Kumasi, we were able to do 3 shows whilst it was raining at night at the Cast Auditorium and the White Day. And that, I think, started my radio events and marketing ideas that I have. Then now I was employing me as the events manager, and we came up with so many events. And the family party, the park series, the Laboratory World series. Every December there was an event that we did that's brought everybody together. I did that for 12 years for Laboratory, and then I decided on moving away from the radio space because a hospital approached me that those same marketing things I was doing for the radio, I should come to we pilot them for the hospital. So I went to a Mina hospital and did say for 4 years. What I was doing at a Mina hospital was doing everything to grow the numbers. So we'll have Stanbic, for instance, where I will go visit Stanbic and do a presentation to Stanbic and tell them that there's a hospital called the Mina hospital. We can do X, Y, Z for you. By then, I will go with some of the staff to offer some free screening of some sort. So early morning Stanbic meeting in a group, we'll go there maybe 6:30, 7:30, we'll meet the team and then do a free screening on their business. then I'll sell the produce to them. Gradually, we grew the corporate numbers at a general hospital. I was doing this until EIB approached me that they wanted me to do what I was doing at multimedia for EIB. EIB is the what do you call it? Excellence in Broadcasting Network, which is owned by the force. So Ultimate FM, Star FM, Kasapa FM, Empire, we all belong, just like the multimedia have all those views. EIB also has all those views. So EIB approached me that we should do sale. And I told them I was doing something in the hospital, but somehow, around that time, a lot of radio stations have got into the idea of get an event now, advertise and make money from it. So they realized that they still needed me to do the job. And then I had to double during the hospital and EIB for a while. But I realized it was stressful, so I resigned from the hospital. The passion for radio is bigger than seeing all of these people dying sometimes. So I went on to EIB, and this is the 5th year of doing sale for EIB. My story has been one of being creative with what's the status quo. The status quo has been radio. We all listen to radio what. But I'll come up with a program that is on radio, but we can take that program out and monetize it. So at Ultimate FM, for instance, we have a program called Pilolo. Pilolo started off as a kids program on air. We had an Aunt Marian who was in the studio, and then we talk about things that happened in the past. All those times, our parents were playing ampere, they were playing just killing, and an idea came. If we have all of these kids calling into the program and listening, can't we invite them and teach them how these games were played in the past? So indirectly, it became like a fun fair. I would just call it Pilolo. So Pilolo, we've done Pilolo for like 5 years now. Every year we do it twice, every Easter, every December we do. So to sum all of my long story up, mine has been status quo radio, what you can do to make radio better by way of introducing the marketing and the branding activities.
Indeed, it has been a journey. We cannot attest to it. And he made mention of creativity here and there. When you sit at one place and think that things will be fine, it will be fine, but just for the knowledge you have. But if you go beyond it, he brought on some new ideas and it's working. But I mean, the media transfer, like you mentioned, you were with Love FM, you were transferred to EIB network. Is it really, really lucrative for young people like these to be thinking of becoming media practitioners or to work in the communication industry? Is it lucrative? Erasmus?
It is and it is not. It depends on the skill set you have and what you bring to the field. So, like every profession, even if you're a banker and you do not have certain skills that the job market needs, then you are not putting value on yourself. And so all of us are brands. You are a brand. You are all brands. Your name, when you mention your name, what brand comes to mind? And what value are you putting on yourself? And so if you tint that brand right now at this age, it means you cannot sell it in the future. So that is it. If you are a journalist, and they say that it's lucrative for the presenters, it's lucrative for the sports journalists. I also say it's lucrative for us journalists as well, because I know some of investigative journalists who are exposed. So if you have put value on your brand as a person, somebody like they've been approached, being offered huge sums of money to move. And it's because he has something to bring to the table. He has a skill set that the market needs. That's what everybody is scrambling for.
That's right.
And the same applies to these days, people are looking for a market with certain skills. And so if you have one, you treat them well so they are not poached. So I must say it's lucrative, and again, if you don't have the skill set, you don't put the value on your brand, then nobody is looking for you, and it's not lucrative for you.
Okay. So we all understand that potentially, if we have a good brand, the business is very creative. So how do I build that brand? What are the qualities that I need to possess as an up-and-coming journalist or communications person?
So basically, what you have to do is to master your art. You know, unfortunately for you guys, maybe it's unfortunate for us, but fortunate for you. Because during our time when the radio was, you know, all over the place, the real thing that did the trick for radio was that mystery. Oh, who's the person? Oh, who's this person's voice? Can I see? But now all that thing has been broken off because social media allows you to do Facebook Live. You know, you get to see the person. Sometimes you're disappointed when you see the person. You know, in our time, somebody's voice alone will get you so attracted to their programs. But now it is not like that. That makes your case a little difficult and a little of a hurdle for you to do more in doing what is right or what will make you up there, like Erastus said. So basically what I'm implying or talking about is now with the social markets and the social media space that has added on. The bit that interactive media offers is for you to be creative in that space. Now, a lot of the radio programs have become still, you know, you're listening and it is almost the same thing, but the creative, you know, creative media houses have found a way to enter into the social media space. And they are being very creative with videos, with short skits, with all of this, and pushing the radio station's name. Whoever thought you would have friends in fact for instance on social media? I mean, there's this interesting thing they do on the Coco show where a guy comes, he does sports. Anytime he comes, he cracks you up with a joke. And those jokes are cut into small pieces and they are sent out now on social media. What that does is for you to recall that there's a station called Peace FM. There's a presenter called Kwame Sifaka. Even though he's old, he's stale. Radio brings stillness sometimes. So some of these things are available for you to put a niche on your brand, just so you can be actually creative as you go.
Alright, that's fine. These are young students, and they are not coming from same department, several backgrounds. Some are into architecture, publishing, and the rest. Do I need to have some level of experience before I can venture into journalism? Erasmus.
Yes, you have to. During our time, there was no cap on who can enter into journalism. Even as we speak, there is no specific cap. And so that is why you have other disciplines also moving into journalism. At our place, for now we have some students from KNUST-TEK who are into medicine, also taking up what we now call medical journalism. We have people from political science who are branching to journalism and are doing very, very well. But I think that you need a basic diploma in journalism, what will take you deep into journalism proper and what it entails. Or perhaps a degree in journalism is better. And it serves as a template for you to be able to progress right from there. There are some skills that I think you will also need. Persistence. You will need the passion for the job. Research skills is also important. In this age, you need digital literacy. In fact, because of social media, the new media, there are so many sectors of journalism that are evolving with time. And so knowledge in the IT area will help a lot. And then logical reasoning and objectivity. I call it maturity. You need that, and you can build that from the scratch. Whilst you're studying now, you need to soak yourself in what happens every day. You must take interest in your environment. As a journalist, you don't take anything down too line and sinker. So if you are in a particular environment and something is happening, people are passing by and they are moving around unconcerned. But you will be inquisitive and curious. And you have that third eye that you need to probe things. So you always ask questions, and you will need that very much. And so like the passion I said, it's a difficult job. It's not an easy job. So you must have passion for it. You'll be facing a lot of resentment. You'll be facing a lot of challenges, hurdles on the job. You'll be waking up at all hours and all that. It's something that if you have a passion for it, it helps you deal with it.
I'm sure somebody is here thinking, oh, I mean, I can be a journalist. I possess all those qualities. All right, you wake up in the morning, you shower, and you are preparing to meet the day's demand, go for lectures and handle other things. And we are thinking of combining the two. I mean, do a little journalistic work whilst you do your academic work. Let's take from the experts. Now, how is your typical day like if I'm a student and I want to combine journalism? How is your typical day like so I can see whether I can do that?
So, for any such, you need to read, and read again. What's the word you come across on social media? You need to read, but you have to check the authenticity of what you're reading. Because it is wrong for you to pick anything out there and go talk about it. Or it is wrong. But once you have that you have read, it's armed you. So if you enter into any space, you can be able to speak on any of the subjects that are being discussed. That's one key thing that you have to do. Alongside being your everyday active students, if you practice over time, it does not necessarily have to be you reading. Journalism also comes in blogging, typing, writing. Now, so many of the journalists, we meet them and we talk to them. Sometimes they really didn't sound as a good talk, but they have a certain skill that they are able to type so well, communicate so fluently by what they have scripted. So basically, for any student who wants to combine the two, you have to be that kind of person. And then enter into the social media space as well. In the social media space, there's a way you can make believe. People will think that, hey, this is how the person is, but they can't look and realize that, some people are smartly using that to sell themselves. So if it is on Twitter, for instance, that people who come up against people who are celebs, take them on, speak their crap or whatever, indirectly they sell themselves. What will be wrong for you to do is to have a negative image in that space, where you speak ill of things, and then, but all along, if you are continuing with your studies and you are in that space as blogging or as typing anything to the media houses, it gives you some credibility as you go along, and you can double do the two. When it comes to writing and those things, may not be in that space. But if you give me anything or a trick, and I have to do, I do. So apart from my marketing and my events, there was also an agency that I ran that does voiceovers. And we've done jobs for FPAC, we've done jobs for so many companies. So these are the things that are around the area that you have decided to enter into. If you do it well, it's good. It's all about branding yourself and making yourself relevant in the space.
Yes, it's all about branding. All about branding. Now there is a surge in social media usage, that everybody is using social media. But when you log on to social media space, you will find the new trend now. Put a camera on yourself, run some insults on some people and become famous. Are there any punitive measures to crack down people who report falsehood?
Yes, recently, previously, there was nothing like that because the criminal libel law was repealed. But then you have the civil libel where you can be sued in a court of law for defaming somebody. These days, it's been made criminal with the passage of the one of the public instruments. And so, currently, if you write any falsehood on social media, you can be arrested. And I think about 2 or 3 journalists have been arrested and prosecuted. And so yes, there is a punitive measure for that. But there is something that I fear more than even the punitive measures that are available at the moment. And that is tainting your own brand. In fact, from today, if you do not see yourself as a brand, start seeing yourself as a brand. Your name is a brand. If you taint it today, you cannot use it tomorrow. And you might think that nobody is watching. Yeah. The internet is like a seed. You throw something in it, it will wash, go around, and join other things, and then it will come back to the beach. And so in the future, when there are so many types of avenues that journalism presents, and so now you are faced with a big opportunity of your life, and then that's the time when people actually go on social media, type your name, and get information about you to face you in the panel interview. It's done so many times. I've seen it so many times. And so, whatever you write on social media, whatever you put there, will either come back to help you or come back to harm you. And that is what I'm afraid of, even more than going to jail or anything.
And so, those of you who have received an email from me before, anytime I send a mail, there is a tag as a signature to my email. A good brand is the new form of power. Position it well, and you can influence. So you build a brand for yourself that you can influence people. I mean, if I'm walking on the street and I meet someone and I say, I need a direction to a place, the person will gladly give me the direction. Imagine I have tattoos, I have earrings with some hoodie and I meet somebody. The person will be kind of afraid. You get it? So the brand is very important to talk of. Is there a future for journalists? And how does the future look?
The future for journalism now is brighter than it was. Because I've always thought that when we had all that experience, especially for me, let me use my example. When I was doing the night train and I was on radio, critiquing government and talking about things that happen in society. I have a wide following. At a point in time, we could organize about 2 buses of VIP, people in the VIP bus, and go for trips at Boti Falls and all of those things. And this was in an era where social media was, we only had text messages. That was it, just text messages. Later, we introduced phone ins. So if we have been able to do this in the past with these numbers, and you have a certain powerful tool like social media now, which is helping in that space, it's an add-on, and it is going to help you to do more in this space. In the past, people thought that journalists, more or less were nobodies. Sometimes journalists will go for programs, and depending on which media house they were coming from, sometimes they even look down on. Whereas a powerful media house, oh, okay, these people are from here, let's treat them right. But there was a certain Manasseh, there was a certain somebody who was able to stand out of all of these. So it means that no matter what it is, if you brand yourself properly, you can stand out from all of the people. Yes, social media is here. It can work for us, it can work against us. But you as the individual who has decided to go into that communication space, or the marketing space, or the journalism space, what are you doing? How are you adding on social media, which is the one that is helping everybody now? All the media houses have gone into social media. I mean, the past few thoughts of radio, we are progressing on the 5,000 capacity radio. We are all over. So I will have to go on people's phones, for instance. If that is available and that's where journalism is going to, it means that you also have to find yourself to be in that space. And the future is very bright. The odds for me around this time is how people abuse that same social media space. That for me is always the headache. And I do not know, but as we know as maybe some other thing is going to happen for us to be able to track the people who do the wrong things on social media and call them to it.
Right. Erastus, there is the traditional media where, people apply for jobs at radio stations and other things. Now, Nana is making us aware there's future, like social media is there, you can take advantage of YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. How do I start using social media to my advantage to start my journalism career?
Okay, so yes, there are the traditional media which is still relevant. And these days, if you watch Daily Graphic with this big circulation, they are now venturing into online. And so they are selling the newspapers all right, but then they are also creating an online platform where they push their stories even before they are published the next day. Radio is also moving online. And so multimedia, for instance, has created a JW platform, a strong database where we have all our reports, video reports, documentaries, features stored in there. The links are embedded on our website. And so it tells you where the direction is going. It's a wealth, a creation event for all of us, depending on how you use it and how you create it. These days, Facebook can be monetized. You reach more than, I think it's 10,000 followers, and then your engagements and other things go very well. You can monetize it, and they'll pay you money when you place adverts on your page. And so, currently, it starts off now. If you have a page on Facebook and you're just using it for selfies, then you're not thinking about the future. It's money. So you should start building it right from now. if you start building it right from now, there are so many creative ways of building quality content. It's not about taking nude pictures as some people have done, which of course will harm you as a scholar. There are so many things around that. Even in the university, people have done project works that are so interested and they want to talk about it. Can you create something out of that? Talk to these people, get some videos, nice videos about what they have been able to produce, of course, with their consent. Start putting them on your pages. And that's the way you start building your following and you start building your engagements. So by the time you complete school, you have been able to monetize your page. And you can use it for so many things. It will pay you good money at the end of the month, I tell you. People have been paid $1,500 per month for just doing what they love on social media. And so it starts from now, and you can start building that page on Instagram, on Facebook. YouTube also has that avenue as well. And if you start now, the better.
I have a testimony to share. A scholar walked to me in 2013. He says he would want to help us build the MCS social media account. So we started. Alongside, she was learning and started her own Instagram account. She's Magdalene Spice on Instagram. Now, her followership is inching to 20K, as in 20,000. She lives in France now. What she does with her Instagram account is to market products. And she has the African body, so products like Zara, Kevin Klein, top brands, they contact her. Can you wear our dress? Put on Instagram. Then she gets paid. Recently, she WhatsApped me to say she's gotten the biggest contract. Santorini, Greece. They contacted her to come and take pictures at Santorini and share on their platform. She was being paid. I listened to Jessica. Jessica has started YouTube. And Jessica said her biggest pay about 6 months ago was $30,000 for a month. Just produce the content for you to use your data and watch. And she's getting paid. So it means we can start from our corners in our rooms, start building the platform whilst we are in school. Your everyday life, you wake up in the morning, like coming here for this meeting. You have blogged about it. I'm going to have my first journalistic class. When you are done, you put a small report there for people to read. You start building credible followership. Before you are done with your 4 years, your 3 years left, you may have followership, then you monetize your page, and you start getting money. And you wouldn't go and create unemployment graduate association. Alright, let's go on. Are there any special tools that I need? I mean, I only have my phone and my laptop. Do I need any special tools to start a job in the communication industry? Nana?
I think that you need to be somebody who's creative. If even it has to do with just writing, just be creative about what you write. If it is somebody who's doing pure journalism, you probably have to be creative. Because creativity is what everybody wants. You know, we don't want boring things. And I'll use this as an example. With reference to creativity, there's a guy who reports for media. I think it's called Rafik Salam. Just as I mentioned Rafik Salam, what came to mind?
Wow.
Anytime he reports on WA, and anytime he reports, there's a way he signs off, you know, with that WA thing that he says. You know, so basically, you have to be creative. He's speaking his English. You can mark his English and say his accent is perhaps an authentic accent. Oh, one tip of okay. But at the end of the day, we are so certain something you can laugh over. And for recall purposes, it is very important that you are creative in anything at all. If it is a space that you are given to be blogging, or it is a media entity that you contact and tell them you'll be writing features or stories for, let's have the creativity run through all of what you. The ethics are there. The basic things that you have to follow as a journalist or a communications person are there. But for me, what will make you thrive and make you a lot more better than all the others will be the fact that you are creating with all you do, and it's all work.
Erastus, any special tools that our students need to start their own careers?
You need your brain. You need to be thinking off the cuff. In our journalism fraternity, we have many journalists in Ghana. But you know, few people have their names counted. Have you asked yourself why? And because they stand out, they choose to stand out. They choose not to do what everybody is doing. And so when we go on the field, and we are all covering an aspect. You listen to the same story on this network. You listen to the same story on another network, and you see that this one endears to you more than this one. Creativity. So yes, you might need some tools. You have a laptop, that's fine. If you save for a camera, a small camera, that's also good. These are the tools you get in your notepad. So when you go on the field, try to think outside the box. So everybody is doing A, B, or C. But can we do it another way around? So if it's a donation story, you cover it. Okay, so they are donating to an orphanage. But can I find out why these children are here in the first place to finish my story? That would be different from what other people are covering. So everybody is talking about, so MTN donated 20,000 bags of rice to Master Children's Home. Okay, but I saw one child with a broken leg and he's using cloth. Why did she end up? So I go around and I talk to the administrator. I want to talk to that. So okay, in my presence, yes. So you talk to the child and you find something that's wrong there. And it forms the basis of one of my stories that I did. There was a donation like that, and I saw a kid who was limping. So while everybody was concentrating on how many bags, of course I'll do the bags of rice, but I didn't want to leave my story with bags of rice. So I saw them, she spoke with the child. And it happened that she was a victim of child abuse. The father actually put the leg down and stepped on it. Then she was a witch. And she's exercising the spirits from her. And that story was the first story of joy. But it's a donation story. The same donation story that everybody is covering. So within your community, what problems can you solve? And in solving that problem, how can you monetize that solution? And that has been the basis of many enterprises that have sprung to more than money making ventures.
You may have to share some experiences with us. I mean, I could feel they enjoyed that story you shared. Both of you, I would want us to know, has there been your brightest moments and your lowest moments in your career as a journalist? Brightest moments and low moments. Nana, can you start with us?
Okay, my brightest. I think for me, when I was able to make KSM's production work in Kumasi, was one of the few moments where I told myself that, oh, okay, so what I decided to do has worked. KSM had tried on his own to do his production, one-man comedy show. And that was around the time I had actually come to Kumasi, so I went to watch the show. He had booked the Nat Hall. You know, KSM in Accra, he ran several one-man comedy shows, and every time the National Theatre is packed. But he comes to Kumasi and I counted, there were 12 people in the whole of the Nat Hall. So I was standing there doing his thing, talking, and then I found out of frustration, standing at the back there, and I said, so what's this? What's that? Apparently, the man didn't know the comedy thing was about. Come and stand there and talk and make us laugh. So here's something that the man is saying something, that's what I said, oh, I beg your pardon, so he was disappointed. But when I got into that space, I told myself I was going to make KSM work in Kumasi. So I started contacting him. And it was extremely difficult. He didn't want to come. Eventually he agreed. Then he asked me what I was going to do to make it work. So this is what I did. The night shows that I did, which meant my sitting in the studio and talking about what went wrong in society and got people to support me to do all the voluntary things. I decided to play KSM's obvious, what he did in Accra, and I would just play. And then it started, because I've grown a listeners. There was a base that was following me at night. People who were working at night and they needed companions. On the radio to help them work. So I played. And then I got team at Love to support. We had short. All these short things we all have them playing. We started doing that. It was for a purpose. It's drums home, the event is coming. Let's do it. The event is coming. We call them teasers. And smartly, you should find ones that are engaging or exciting to listen to. If you play it and the recording is, substandard, it doesn't give you the effect you want. So this KSM one I'm referring to particularly, I got audios from him where they recorded the show and it was a novelty. In Kumasi, nobody did that. So the corporate people in Kumasi, the bankers who had been transferred, we gave me a record. And we did KSM and it was perfect. Full house, people came. KSM talks about it now. Every now and then that we're able to, and for me, I think it coincided with a lot of people now being transferred to Kumasi. In the past, some of these things in Kumasi wouldn't work. But now Kumasi has come of age, and these things are there for you to tap and use. That was one of my highest points. I think the second one too had to do with a similar Uncle White one, where we finished the production. And Mr. White leaves all the money that we made with him. And because we're traveling to, I planned research that they will do Kumasi, do Obuasi, and do Takra. So the same person who worked with the Anglo and Obuasi, and then we got to the place of it. So when we finished here, I was in charge of collecting all the money. It was a partnership where our firm would take a certain percentage, he takes a certain percentage. So I had the money, and then Obuasi, I had the money. When we finished everything, and I went to give him the money in Accra. For the first time in my life, I was giving a cash donation of 2,000 Ghana. And I stood in his office and I was weeping. And he asked what I was weeping. I said, oh, this is a dream come true. But I always told myself there was more I can do with radio. And eventually, that has worked. So 2 high points. Lowest points. When we realized that somehow, some people, because they can't stand the competition in the industry, will snitch, or as it were, a double deer. If I say a double deer, I understand. Yes. Okay, African power. It got to me, I'm like, really? This is something we are doing out of our creativity. All along in my radio experience is about creativity. You know, how can we do it differently? So I asked myself, wow, what will make people go into that space where I don't actually see radio as the only thing I can do. If today radio is not around, I'm sure I can move into another space and do something. So how come other people don't see it that way? You know, I see it as really, no one will be there. The tools, and those things. It really got to me. But I think that overall the journey has been quite an adult one. And the successes and the downfalls are there for everybody to see. There have been times where we have done programs and they have flopped. You know, there are times that they have worked and people come and pat me on the back so they might have there to work. The flop ones are there, we learn. Before I left lab with them, there was a project that was still project, but the person who took after managed to make it work. On Independence Day, it's a program to bring all the school children together for us to enact some of the things that happen. You know, the Bamboo is somebody comes to mimic Bamboo, somebody comes to mimic a certain Ginger Rollins, somebody, and then we sold tickets. So I realized that try as I did to make that program work, it wasn't working because a lot of the school children had to take part in the Independence Day activities. So you do letters to them, you engage them, and then they will disappoint you. But somehow I noticed that when I left, Labafin also found a smart way. Instead of doing it on the Independence Day itself, they moved it to the holiday that is after the evening. After every Independence Day, there's a holiday. And then, you know, it's work. So downs are there, ups are there, but you learn and you correct the roads to move on.
Before we take from Mr. Erastus, start putting down your questions. It will be your turn to ask all the questions you would want to ask. At that point, I'll join them and we come through and you throw your questions at us. Mr. Erastus, can you share your dance high points?
Which one do I need then? I mean, I think a draw will be one. I'll just take on the two of them. In fact, I love children. And I do some of the human interest stories because it involves women and children. So far, through my